and Finland and so on. But you know what? I've got to hold that thought. And we are back into the game.
Yeah, I'm curious about Sonny too, because he obviously had like an 8-month break between Mouse Sports and ENCE, so he's had to really work himself back into form, and it hasn't quite come into fruition just yet, but maybe it can today. Ariel the one dealing blows though right now, but Hair quick to respond with that AUG, but look at the pistols popping off for ENCE. They're keeping this very, very interesting. Luckily, it seems, never mind, I thought Taco was going to add some order to this chaos, but instead, Sonny puts us into a 1v1. This is madness.
Yeah, he's only got 2 bullets, and he doesn't want to reload just yet. He doesn't want to give away the sound cue. He has so much time on the clock, he's going to reset the situation completely, and he's going to walk all the way around the outside. And KNG, he's just going to have try to do his best to take a catch-all position. So much time is going to have passed that eventually KNG, everything becomes a question to him. So he's going to actually go into the hut, and there's so much time for Sonny to move around that there's so many things that are possible here, which I can't even go into all the different options for both players.
Yeah, you need to just go into Benedict Cumberbatch's brain as he plays the character in Avengers, Doctor Strange, and then you can calculate all the possibilities and come back to us.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
What do you think?
Well, it looks like, I mean, Sonny's in a spot right now where he's killed actually so much time on the clock, and you won't have, the bomb's in such an exposed position. It creates questions about Heaven, as you can see. So, and he's not really got time to go down the vents at this point if he picks up the bomb. So he might not be leaving himself with enough time here. He's picked up a FAMAS meanwhile. It's going to have to be a ridiculous reactive shot here. At least he was able to get the reload off. Picks up the bomb, but again, there's no time to really go. There's no time. He hasn't left himself time to do this. He's going to have to go for the desperation plant in the smoke, and that's just so obvious here for KNG. Surely, as he wraps around the smoke, and Sonny, he kind of outplayed himself there, Dust. There were loads of options until the timer, he left it so late that there was none.
I think maybe he was doing that. He was trying to come up with all the different options in his head, but he just didn't pick one fast enough and really put himself in a tough situation. Made in Brazil do just barely grab that one, though it does come at a huge cost, and they have to rebuy so many players right now. So by the skin of their teeth, they do get it done. But with that, ENCE will be able to start buying some weapons. You see some Galils coming out, a couple of AKs. Sergey also going to find that Galil. The Galil, a very powerful weapon nowadays since the most recent update to the game with the price and changing the accuracy of the spray and all that good stuff and the reset of it. So definitely can still pack a punch.
Yeah, it feels really good now for sure. And there's no smoke to coming across, and KNG's pretty happy to take the fight, but you can shoot through that. And indeed, he's going to get taken down eventually, but Fallen is doing great work with the Scout. He is someone that is so well known for Scout shenanigans, and Fur holds down HUD as well. It looks like ENCE are struggling to get the response that they needed in this round. They took some gambles, and Fur, he has great intuition. Look at that. He knows to check that spot. Very smart that they back away from that one. And now what do you do? 2 versus 4. There is time, but that's pretty much all there is in terms of what you have going for you in the ENCE shoes.
Alu here trying to pave way towards outside, but Fallen's got that Scout, and again, he is so deadly with this weapon. He's the classic guy you think about when you think about scouting, and there he is again, the OG Scout Master. I think Fox gets a run for his money nowadays, but still, Fallen's good for a good Scout shot, and that's another one. That's 3 to his name in the round, all on X7 now. Trying to creep out the already open squeaky door, so no squeak needed, no WD-40 needed to lubricate those hinges. Able to silently walk his way out into upper, but what can he really do? He doesn't have bomb, but it's not long for this world, is he? For finding that one, 3-0 start for the Brazilians.
Yeah, great stuff from them there. You know, Fallen really making that Scout sing, and the gamble for events was an aggressive one, just going outside, no smokes to go for the cross, and Fallen has hit some very nasty shots there. Beautiful stuff, and that's going to send ENCE into save territory again. And I think what's interesting here as well is that ENCE, a fast play is surely coming. Once they start to lose grip of things, that is definitely their comfort zone. So I feel like MIBR will expect very aggressive plays in the next gun rounds. Oh no, Fallen's going to get annihilated there by Sonny. Great shot there with those Deagles, and all of a sudden, just like that, ENCE are looking very dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. Taco trying his damnedest to hold on to outside right now. Sonny, though, has creeped up above, and it's going to come down to timing whether or not Taco sniffs this thing out or not. Does just spot it. Sonny not ready. Taco going to put it between his eyes and put his team another step forward. As it is now a 3-on-2. These pistols have been pesky, but not pesky enough to push the round off of Main Brazil, at least not yet. But there is still time to find things to do, as they both seem to be heading towards lower now. Could maybe get a plan out of this.
Trying to work those spaces as best as they possibly can to find something, and there is potential. Deagle trained in on the vent drop, is not going to catch a quick headshot. That's unfortunate, so that option's now gone for ENCE. It's just on Alu, long range with the P250. Caught out in the open, and Taco will finish him off nicely for another round here for MIBR, converting again. And they don't take too much damage out of this round. I think ENCE will be happy they got a bomb plant and a couple kills. I think both teams, it's one of those spots where both teams are kind of cool with what, with what they got out of the round. And now we're going to get into that really interesting situation, Dust. We've got that next gun round for ENCE, and I really am expecting like a fast upper or something similar, like a mid-round set piece onto the upper bomb site, something of that nature.
Definitely could be in the cards. We did see some of that yesterday. Again, it's kind of hard to go for fast upper plays when CTs actually have the utility to stuff hut and squeaky door and force you to take damage or waste utility extinguishing or slowing you down. But also they have the option for the typical outside smoke wall plays. Maybe eventually even sticking Alu at long range with an op or something outside to try to find picks. But this round there will not be a sniper in play for the Finns. It'll just be rifles across the board. Are going to be throwing their Mauais and such at the top. Mayern, though, somehow finding this little sliver to stay on top of, to be unfazed by the fire. And ENCE actually do not play off of that. They actually all back up, and now they're setting up their smoke wall outside.
The cool thing about this as well is you get these CTs to invest some counter utility on that upper bomb site, so you're going to be able to keep track of what they've used, what they haven't used. And the option to re-execute later in the round is also up there for the ENCE team as they now progress through the outside. And they've got those outside smokes. So there could be two things for them to do at this point. They either go down to secret, or this is all a fake. And KNG is about to find out it's not a fake. And the peak, there's the swing. KNG falls back. There's the incendiary. They cannot trade that frag. Huge win. Huge win for MIBR here. ENCE now, they're going to have to figure out something else to do, because that isn't a no-go down there in secret for now.
It's called the scramble. That's what they have to do now. The initial plan has failed. Now they must try to collect themselves, call an audible, and find a way still out of this round with a good result. It's going to be a tough task, but maybe they'll be up to it, as Taco, having to worry about this backstab through heaven, will start to take position here underneath the ladder and make sure that he at least has this angle somewhat covered, though there is still players jumping above him that he may not realize just yet. It's going to be X7 and Alu now. He might be hearing the pitter-patter of footsteps on metal, and there you see it. Mayern is certainly prepared for this very attack, but he still doesn't land the shot, and it starts opening up this upper side with Fur. He's certainly up for it. He's found 3 already. That might be just enough. With the help of Taco, they get the job done. The 5-0 start for Made in Brazil.
And this is such a great start, and this is what I was worried about from ENCE, is that they don't seem to have, like when they play these slower rounds, they don't seem to get the results that they want. And that first initial big win, KNG shutting down the secret position, was so huge, because at that point, MIBR know exactly what ENCE have available to them. It's basically 2 options, but we've got a faster one on our hands. Here's the spray through the door. Not going to land too much, but enough here to really weaken 3 players. For finishing off 1, they know that down the vents is being exposed as Fallen drops down to try to chase. But ENCE, it's really on them to make the next move here, as Taco anticipates that push that surely must be coming from Rap at some point. Oh, he's so good, isn't he? Taco knows everything.
Man, it's really tough when you keep suffering the opening blow. I mean, it seems like every round lately, Made in Brazil has gotten the opening kill of that very round.
Oh, no.
And there you see Fallen finding Alu. That's a tough one. That's really starting to crush all the remaining options for ENCE. But Ariel does at least find a pick here towards Ramp Room. It gives them some hope, but they're still so far behind.
It's been a while since I saw a non-Brazilian player get affected by the mouse wheel bug. I don't know if there's really all that much going for ENCE here in terms of breaking these 2 choke points. It'll be very difficult. They're kind of at a standstill. There's no other option but to try. Trying to take that red-eye peek, and it might work just as the smoke goes away. Fallen sneaks away just in time, just before that smoke goes away. And is repositioned to a very good angle, and that is why he gets some damage. It falls back safely. Flashbang goes out. He wants to peek with the flash. It's a big play. It doesn't work. In fact, maybe Fallen would have wanted to try to delay here because he committed himself, and that's given a chance to ENCE. Here come the CTs now working from both control and decontamination, making their way forward. Sunny swinging on the side of the smoke up to Aerial now. They've fashioned a 1v1 out of this, which is quite crazy. There's the molly. Oh no, Aerial straight past it, and he's gonna nail it. Great stuff there from Aerial. Forces his way past the Molotov. And you know what? I feel like Fallen gave up too much there. He had position, Dust. He could have just stayed alive and control room. He takes the fight with no support, and that gave the opposition a chance before the rotation was into plot.
It's actually insane that they still almost lost, though. Aerial, I think, had 2 HP left. If KNG could have maybe just bought a bit more time, he might have just burned to death. That was kind of a weird situation, but nonetheless, it does finally go ENCE's way, and certainly you could point to that move by Fallen. You know, wanting to peek for the flash. Maybe he thought the time was low. He could get another kill and slow them down even more, stop them from being able to get a bomb plant and buy more time for a rotation. But at the same time, he kind of gave up what was, I think, weren't they in like a 5-on-2 before he died? I think Taco may have died just before him, but yeah, they definitely seem to have a lot of control of that, then let it slip.
What is really cool so far, though, generally speaking for MIBR, is that they have been almost... well, basically every round they put themselves in pretty big advantages, and they're consistently doing that. They always have an answer, positionally or timing-wise, but could hold that thought. We got a fast push down the vent here with 2 players dropping very quickly. Fur in the hut position is going to have to investigate into lobby, and he pushes out, and he will be met by the AWP of Alu, and this is looking very chaotic, and this is what we're talking about with ENCE. The fast stuff, that's what works really well for them sometimes. They've got a bomb down on the lower site. This is chaos.
Looking good for ENCE to find their second in a row, unless Taco, Mayern, and KNG can say something about it here on this retake towards the lower side. KNG actually does catch Sergey here with AWP towards the ramp room, and that gives them 1 more kill towards the retake, but it seems more and more likely like they're just looking to save these weapons. They've really made no advances forward, so with their economy as low as it is, you can't blame them for just wanting to scamper away with what weapons they do still have left. So that does give the Finns another round on the board, though. So they're starting to craft a little bit of something here on the attacking side after the 5-0 start from Made in Brazil.
Maybe there it is. It could be the start of something off the back of that previous round, which was really crazy. Where it's a situation where, you know, Fallen might be a bit unhappy with himself, kind of playing off of a feeling, I think, going for that maybe slight overextension. And that's Counter-Strike for you. Just 1 slight overextension, and the other team has a lot to work with. And you know, they have to prove that they can change something here, though. Because generally speaking, MIBR have been dealing with everything, so...
Yeah. Tend to agree with that. Full buy here still for both teams, though it is a bit limited for ENCE. They do have X7 on a Galil. Also an SMG and a FAMAS in play for Made in Brazil, so... Oh my goodness, that's almost a danger there for Taco, but he does escape away from it all, able to even stand firm with the M4. That's going to be 3 kills from Taco, and KNG also chiming in with an op kill. Leaves it all to Sunny. A nice shot on the Taco, but still not long for this world, you'd have to imagine.
What a sick hold from Taco. That's so insane, and Mayern will finish things off for him. Oh my god, that's so disgusting. And especially when he's in that 1v1 towards the end, Taco, that is. Just like how he's just not peeking, it's going to be so frustrating if you're KNG. Not KNG, sorry, what am I talking about?
It's okay, Dan.
Whoever it was left here.
That's fine. It was Sunny, I believe, in the end.
Sunny. Very frustrating for Sunny.
Yes.
So very, very well played by Taco. Just the jiggles just were perfect there. And
yeah. I thought he was about to get dominated because he had a nade in his hand, and it looked like they actually had pushed past the smoke and were going to catch a timing on him, but somehow able to drop down, recover, wound up with 3 kills. KNG helped kind of divert some of the attention when he took his peek from Turnpike, but that's wild stuff.
He did a great job, and you know, ENCE, they haven't really gone for too many heavy investments towards ramp, so the fact that, you know, I mean, Taco is one of those players, you know, Taco is one of those guys on your team that he doesn't need to be having much action to be feeling it. You know, he can be on like a dead bomb site for, you know, good 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds, and he'll still be just as good. You know, some players, they need to be in the action to keep their form up, but Taco, you know, he's always ready for it.
Again, the utility comes out very quickly towards upper, especially the Molotovs on top of the hut, but Fur has found a corner that has been left unscathed. And so we'll be able to maintain this position. Again, it does bait out counter utility from Made in Brazil, but in a way, also not, because their fire doesn't get full coverage on top hut, so they don't have to like waste something to extinguish. So maybe they're not getting as much as they hope out of it. They're still trying to make their way out into upper, but it may not be enough. though the entries are starting to pour in.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good here, but there is a player that dropped onto the side. Mayon's ready, and he'll take down one, and Fallen swings up for the second, and they have a perfect crossfire there. The timing couldn't have gone more poorly for ENCE in that final moment of the round. That shouldn't have looked so easy, but you know what? Look at the timing of this. It's just too insane.
That was crazy how much the momentum of that round changed in the blink of an eye. You know, all of a sudden, ENCE is popping off entries, looking like they're actually going to control the site, and then right there, 3 kills in a flash, getting Main Brazil up 7-2. Now just pistols for ENCE.
We can see that KNG is the guy kind of holding the AWP here, and it makes a lot of sense because Fallen is that more up-close battle sniper, and so it makes sense that KNG gets that dedicated AWP when you're holding angles such as that outside. And Zarko, you know, he's been performing really well so far this game.
Absolutely. 10 kills and 9 rounds played, 121 ADR, so certainly up to the task thus far in this one.
Very nice start from him. Off one. Second kill goes his way. Just keeps isolating them into 1v1s. They can't seem to trade him. Such great work, and he'll stay alive. And quick note, actually, is that he smashed one of the panels of glass as he was falling down. And that is to make sure that if the plant does happen, his teammates have options, if they have control room, to be able to escape through the glass without having it broken, you know, having to break it and give away their advantage. So it's kind of a very small detail, but smashing the glass there for future.
Absolutely. All the small details can add up. 8-2 lead here for Main Brazil. Again, their first Nuke game in almost a year on LAN. And they're off to a hot start. ENCE's pick is starting to backfire a bit. Fallen now up close, trying to avoid all the utility, trying to stay alive and buy time. KNG, in the meantime, with AWP, also alert to this outside take and has a kill to his name to show for it.
Is Fallen just walking behind Alu there?
Yes.
Oh, man. That's one way to clear it. That's one way to clear the push, is that someone flank it, and he's been spotted. This is so weird.
Yeah, this is awkward. Like, if he could have got that kill, it's all good, but now he's in a tough spot. But luckily, KNG has been handling things quite nicely also with the AWP, but Alu does get through, gets that kill, gets the AWP, and Ariel pitches in also, and now we're all even.
What a timing there onto Fallen. Alu completely outplayed Fallen in this round. Very unfortunate for MIBR. They had a somewhat non-standard setup as far as they're concerned, but it hasn't worked out for their favor at least. ENCE will get that upper bomb site under control. And so MIBR have just been completely outpositioned here. There may not be nothing to do but save their guns at this point.
Yeah. It's tough because it was a good idea, and like Fallen was trying something different outside, playing more up front. Yeah, maybe having a chance to backstab. In an alternate universe, he gets a kill on the flank and everything unravels for ENCE, but instead he gets busted. He gets caught up, doesn't find the kills, winds up getting timinged on ramp room, and then that's all she wrote. The Finns are back on the board.
Yeah, because the normal CT reaction is, okay, they have the smokes outside, we have someone that's rotated down through that can kind of, if they get contact, they can drop a smoke, they can slow play, they can, so in that case, Alu, yeah, he gets down, but then he gets slowed down by the smoke. So no one's out of position, but there it is on Fallen to actually kill. He has to, actually just has to get the kill there. And they put themselves in definitely an awkward position.
Yeah, it put too much stress on KNG, having to have two minds about what was going on. He got 2 kills as well before he went down, so he was doing his job, but this became overwhelming, and that's so crazy to get those. But in the end, it's still going the way of Alu, Ariel, and company after those kills. And so 8-3 is now the score. Full buys for both sides. Plenty of utility as well.
Oh dear, that's a great opening. I was about to say it's beginning to look more promising for ENCE, but that's certainly a good way to start the round. They have an aggressive outside take, so this is actually a problem for, I was about to say a problem for ENCE, but Alu does actually catch KNG as he backs away. And now Fallen's playing mini, and he's a little bit worried about Squeaky as well. This is a very scary position. He tries to play the advantage of his angle, and it's going to work out beautifully well. 2 quick kills for Fallen, and now it's a 2v4. ENCE looked set up for greatness there, but Fallen shuts it down.
Yeah, big individual play there from Fallen, no question. And now Fur might be the final nail in the coffin of this round for the Finns. Indeed, it will be the backstab through Radio Room. Ends it. 9-3 now the score, but Fallen has to be given so much credit. Such great work. Him and KNG kind of swapped a little bit there. KNG having the AWP instead, and I'm sure you'll see even double up maybe at some point. Just shows you some of the diversity that they have with those players and what roles they might play.
It just seems so difficult for ENCE to gain traction. So they don't seem to be able to find that momentum. They're going for another fast play down the vent. Again, it's been fairly effective in some of these rounds. Getting 3 players that will be able to very quickly dart their way down the vent position, and there is no CT presence on the lower bomb side. They have completely outpositioned MIBR. You see KNG will hold this position, but there's still so much early utility that can be used to shut down these choke points that KNG's only been opened up to this left eye peak. This is the worst peak of the two. That's why the right side's been smoked. And you want to leave this one open and molly it. We'll get a smoke there. They are swimming in utility, so they're going to shut down any possibility. There's two players that need to make their way across to the side. They can't quite get there.
Time is ticking is the really big problem, even though it's like one of those weird post-plant 5-on-5s. The CTs are just not getting the space they need. Now they're starting to press forward. They need to find these kills quickly. Again, back and forth the round goes, leaving it into a 3-on-2 when it's all said and done. And very quickly, Sergey stamps things out. So 9-4 is the scoreline. And starting to creep into the game. They've won 2 of the last 3. They snapped that big winning streak that Made in Brazil had early on in the game. Starting to find their footing on some of these lower takes, I think, is a big factor.
Oh, such a struggle this half so far, friends. But they are getting some rounds on the board. Let's see if they can get any more here. Once again, making MIBR respect the squeaky door position. They've been able to get so much value through there. And oh my god, pushing from absolutely every single position. MIBR will crush the push before it can get started, leaving just Ali remaining in the mini position as he looks for a frag, but Fur has his number. It will shut it down with ease, and that'll be 10-4. MIBR once again denying ENCE ever the opportunity to get more than one round in a row.
That is insane stuff. I mean, we're starting to see some of these rounds go blindingly fast, Dan. I mean, it's hard to keep up with the pacing of how some of these things have played out. You could probably capture that whole round in a quick replay, to be honest. It was just devastating for Made in Brazil. They have looked so sharp on this CT side overall. Limited success for ENCE. Now again, we're seeing quick outside take from KNG. He's here so fast, they do not expect it. He's only good for 1, though. Great conversion from ENCE on what could have been a very precarious situation. There's a team kill on all of it, but they still do have a 3-on-2, but low health on a couple of their players, but it may not matter as the kills come in anyhow. 10-5.
This map on record in the last 3 to 6 months, yet they're looking fantastic, and they're looking to finish things off here in style as they move on to the second half.
Again, they haven't played it since IEM Sydney. That's May of 2019. I think it was like an overtime loss to Liquid or something like that. They did have 1 win on it, though, as well against Fnatic. So they played it 3 times at Sydney, and since then, no games on LAN. But off to a great start. It is worth noting that ENCE yesterday did have a pretty good CT side nuke against Gen G. That was not the reason they lost the game, that's for sure. It was their T side that left lacking, and same story here so far.
It's a very quiet, passive dance at the moment from both teams. And they don't have to do anything here but hold their positions and just respond, and respond they will. Aerial, nice first headshot, looking to follow things up though. Will be traded immediately. Great spacing from MIBR as they begin to crunch the upper bomb site. And Sergey scope for the chase here, but he's on the reload, blocking his teammate. Very awkward, but still somehow also flawless. So, you know, we'll give it to them. We'll give it to them. And that's the round that they needed to start things off nicely, get that economy going right off the bat.
It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. Let's say that. Got a bit crazy there on that escape plan through Hut, but they do get all the kills. SMGs are now going to be out aplenty. M4 for Sunny. No bomb plant, no nothing from Made in Brazil, so they will just kind of be hanging out. Did have a tactical timeout actually come in right away from Made in Brazil. Surprising to see it come out so early. Not sure if they have some type of game plan they want to run through again, or if it's more of like a mental reset after, you know, having a tough loss in that round, but they are going to talk things over a bit extra. They actually, I guess are trying to plan what they want to buy, because without the bomb plant, there's no like way to really save and go for a full buy in round 3 of the half, so they're actually going to piece together what they can, and includes a couple of MAC 10s, some upgraded pistols, and a bit of utility. So probably just talking over what strat they wanted to run this round. There's probably going to be some type of set piece, you'd imagine.
Looking for some faster pressure there. Looking to get ahead of it with these SMGs. Very fast movement. It's working out for MIBR as they get some trades into the bomb site. Ali running through the flames. Oh my goodness, he can't quite follow up very quickly. And that will be the end of him. KNG swings through for the trade as well, back into the lobby position, leaving Sunny alone on the upper bomb site. And MIBR, they stole themselves away with a man advantage as well as the bomb. And they could go absolutely anywhere on this map right now because they have all the time in the world.
And all the space. Sunny, so limited in what he can do now. He doesn't have a kit either, so that means he needs to work quickly after the spawn gets planted to have time to defuse. Luckily for him, they have weaker weapons and they're both low on health, so that does help him out a bit. But again, no clue where they're really at, so he has to spend a lot of time just trying to clear angles and try to locate these remaining 2 members on this post plant, and he has to give himself away in the process, opening up the door at Decon. They know exactly what's ahead of them now, and he may just have to back off, honestly.
Yeah, there's not really all that much in the way of good options for Sunny, and he recognizes this as he ambles his way back out of the vent position towards a safer grounds, safer territory. And he'll keep hold of that weapon.
That's a tough one to lose if you're ENCE. Those are the rounds you want to be collecting. You want to start building that comeback. But you have to give some credit to the craftiness of Made in Brazil. They had a limited buy. They had just enough utility to one play, one maneuver, and it worked out well. I think it was big for Mayern to have the thought to push Hutton and punish Alu, who was really committed to trying to make that flank through work and wasted so many bullets just getting that first kill. So well done for Mayern, the man from Argentina, the new acquisition.
And they get to slow things down now a little bit. They still have that Mac 10 in hand on Fallen, so that gives him a lot of aggressive options. And, well, KNG's going to go down, it seems. Unfortunate for the MIBR team, but they are on the T side, so not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. And now MIBR will pick up the bomb, get those outside smokes rolling through. They could try to go for a walk down secret. However, Alu is there, but Sunny's also there as well, which is interesting because they could trade out.
Yeah.
And that would put MIBR back in a good spot if they can get these 2 kills.
Seems like it's going to live and die by this play right here, right now. And actually, Alu steps even further forward, Dan. He's looking to go for plays, not just hold the angle. Maybe he's going to catch a timing as well, catching someone trying to run back. The bomb has been tossed down as well because of that action. Finds Mayer, and also limited firepower for ENCE. There's just 2 safe rifles, but they're having enough impact, it seems.
Taka really needs to get that kill onto Ariel, but he will survive on 2 HP. If he'd gotten that kill, it would be a 2v3. There'd be lots more space to move around. They have bomb control at the moment, but the time is running out. And with it, any good chance for MIBR to win this round as well. They may want to try to take players down here to at least limit what ENCE carry through to the next round. And here goes for with Taco. Can they cobble something together? Looks like they will be completely denied there. Great headshot from Sergey, and he will finish it off with a deagle as well. Very nicely done by ENCE. And you know what? The last round, it was pretty depressing, Dust, but they managed to redeem themselves.
Yeah, the back and forth starts already. The last 5 rounds of the second half were 1 for 1. And the same thing carries over for the first 3 rounds of this half. So no stringing together of rounds thus far throughout the bulk of these last rounds. As the crowd's starting to build up here in Anaheim. Lovely faces out there watching the game. Saw some Brazilian fans out there as well. Saw some flags being waved around. So definitely a team that some of the locals are very much fond of. So they are based here.
Yeah, absolutely. They I feel like they're natives at this point. They've been here for a good few years. In fact, the Brazilian guys, you know, they moved.
2015 they moved over?
Yeah, exactly. They moved over to moving with Dead, who was the Luminosity, became the coach when they were on SK. Close friend of the team. And MIBR looking to keep that trend of the 1-for-1 going. The battle of the force buys.
The economic game of chicken. Don't see it too often, but when it does, it's always a mess that you have to try to keep up with.
It gets difficult here too as well. You don't really have as much to play on those long ranges with. You need that utility to grant you safe passage across these really open grounds of the outside area.
Absolutely.
But ENCE are playing really tentatively too. They're just doing that really very classic passive CT setup on the...
Well, if you're Sunny and you have an SG and you know they don't have smokes to cross, that's actually the perfect thing to do, is just to sit there long range with it and force them to try to dry peek that area. X7 poking and prodding at radio is going to find a kill. KNG quick to trade. That nade, though, is going to do severe damage, especially the fall, and he's down to 26 HP. That's not a lot to work with.
It's interesting, though, because he went for the aggression dust, but at that point, MIBR didn't really have a way to get in anywhere. So ENCE kind of gave him an option to push towards a ramp. Question is what they can do with that, though, because they can't really, MIBR can't really move forwards off of this very quickly, and ENCE have had all the time to rotate already, so they have control room under control.
No smokes to cover as well either, so you can't really safely plant. You don't have any coverage whatsoever. You have to try to just hope you can bait someone out to peek you by throwing down the plant. And actually, they do safely get the plant off without any smoke coverage, which is insane in itself, but ENCE just trying to make sure that they lock up the round, not necessarily prevent the bomb plant. They do have still quite the edge on this retake. 4 players. They have fallen very low on HP. So there definitely is still a good chance they're going to pull this one off. But time is ticking, and they haven't really made any headway just yet. Things are starting to get a little bit scary, you have to feel. KNG spotting out a couple of these players towards the control side. Mayer pitching in, getting some kills, and it's all falling apart. It's all on Sergey. And he's being held off. The time will actually win the round when it's all said and done, and he won't be able to escape. Maybe it's close, but he does get away, but it's still the victory for Made in Brazil.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Great shots there from MIBR, and you can see the frustration there on the faces of the ENCE players. They gave up this position towards ramp, and they were very passive, Dust. I think they were trying to rely on the fact that, hey, you know, we have better guns, we've got utility. If we just get our numbers together and attack in a coordinated way, we should be fine. And maybe they gave too much respect to MIBR in that sense. Either way, they go for a more aggressive hold outside. It's going to work out for the initial kill. Sunny looking to lock off the position with a smoke. Can he get out of this position? That's another question entirely. He's going to double down. He wants more here as he looks to push this.
Oh my.
Will they check? They look to be checking. Surely they're going to check this position.
Fallen thought about it seemed like, and yeah, he will eventually clear that one out. It was all going to come down to timing, and they want that smoke fading away, but Fallen does indeed limit Sunny's impact towards outside, but he's still done a hell of a lot, taking one down and softening up Mayern severely, down to just 14 HP, and slowing everything down is the other big thing here. Made in Brazil have not made as much forward progress as they were hoping for at this stage. They're actually forced just to kind of retreat and backpedal to lobby, and that means that so much information is given to ENCE. They know what's going on outside. They know they don't have to worry about that as a threat. They can focus up on lobby and on the radio room. Fur and company will line up some smokes for an outside smoke wall again. So maybe that will kind of, maybe not a fake, but it'll kind of force ENCE to respect outside a bit again.
Yeah, this is really cool to do because given how much pressure was already around outside, reasonably speaking, you can expect that ENCE would actually have fallen out of those 4 positions. So they're going to be completely blind, you know, in terms of what is actually behind the smoke wall. So really great detail there from the MIBR team as they look to try to finish this round off. There's only 20 seconds to go. They have to force their way forward. Nice entry from KNG. The trades start rolling through, and that's looking pretty good here. They will get that bomb plant. But is there a retake to be had here for ENCE? They look out-positioned here, Dust.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all, is it? Limited resources to work with. They do have the kit onto Alu. Maybe if he can find a kill very quickly, they would consider it, but it's not going to come into fruition. Fallen finds that out right away. Now at 7, not much to lose, to be fair. Might as well try to see what you can do with that Eagle, but it's not going to be a whole hell of a lot, is it? Fallen finishing things off. 13-7 for ENCE, and boy, oh boy, for a team that hasn't played Nuke in a long-ass time, they're certainly really doing some great work in ENCE. This map pick, it's backfiring so far, isn't it?
For sure, yeah. I think with MIBR, they got the luxury of starting off on that CT side, and the CT side of Nuke is definitely much easier to prepare for if you play off of the basic protocols. I feel like having a high level is pretty, you know, if you've got some great aimers and some good communication, you establish those basic protocols, you're pretty good to go. The artistry on this map is in the T side. It is, you know, in creating the defaults and setting the expectations and trying to fake out your opponent and trying to use those, you know, advanced tactics to your benefit to create those openings in the defense. That's the trick. And unfortunately, you know, that's actually, you know, that didn't go so well for ENCE. And they've been struggling there all week. Well, I say all week. I mean, we saw one game of Nuke yesterday from them against Gen G, but it was a struggle there too for ENCE on that T side of theirs.
Again, ENCE were a powerhouse on Nuke back in the day with the Alexa B. They snapped Valis's winning streak. They had such a phenomenal record on the map against top teams time and time again, but their map record now is negative on the map, and now they're about to lose to a team perhaps that doesn't even play this map. So this is looking very, very dangerous indeed. They don't have anything to work with in this round, really, except for that AK that X7 has.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, you know, once you see that push, it's like you just know where all the players are, so you can just go anywhere else on the map where they're not. So you can see a very easy response there for MIBR to safely drop down lower. They are getting tagged all over the place, though, but they will be fine. And yeah, this is such a great call for MIBR against ENCE specifically in this matchup, getting that nuke pick going for themselves, and they had that extra data as well. Again, I feel like it can't be stressed enough. You know, in seeing your opponent playing that map just yesterday, that's got to give. You know, let's say in this example, like in the case of MIBR, Zeus, who's the coach, so much to work with in terms of preparation. Whereas again, you know, that's a huge disadvantage for ENCE. They have no idea. There is no data on MIBR at the moment on maps like Nuke and Overpass. 2 of the 3 maps in the series. And ENCE are completely blind as to what to expect.
Definitely a good point to be made. It's also a good point to be made that ENCE's CT side yesterday was actually quite fine. It was their CT side that failed them, and today it's both sides not showing up. And it could cause their demise, as Main Brazil just need a couple of more to steal this one away from ENCE. And again, we talked about this earlier before the game even started. Whoever loses this series is hating life. Like, it's not looking good. Both teams are struggling right now. Both teams are exiting tournaments in the group stage left and right. None of these teams have had any success in quite some time. And so they're both in the same camp. They both have no obvious solutions to their problems other than just forcing their way through and hoping that things turn tides. But yeah, so whoever wins this is just kind of surviving, basically, and whoever loses is in the same old boat they've been in for the last 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, and MIBR have, you know, they have the chance to kind of go up the HLTV rankings, whereas this kind of seems like the opposite for ENCE right now. And ENCE are actually the higher ranked team. They are the 11th rated team on HLTV, and MIBR are the 16th. So there's definitely some points to be had here for MIBR and to potentially start climbing again. And here it comes the pressure to the upper bomb site. I love these mollies. It already creates a lot of problems for the site anchor. However, there's no push. Just baiting out that counter utility. You can see a detail here from MIBR.
Yeah, they definitely seem to be orchestrating things quite nicely. They're very neat and tidy with all the ways they're approaching things. Definitely the more organized team thus far in this game. Great pick to get early on to get that quick 5-on-4. Now they'll just waltz into a free upper bomb site save for Sergey, who's standing firm for 1, but that's not going to be enough as this bomb does make its way in. Alu does get a parting shot there on his way out of heaven, and now X7 on the flank through lobby actually makes this interesting all of a sudden. It's back into a 2v2, back to a winnable scenario. Time running low.
Yeah, that was a great kill. That really does change things. And they will make their final push here to try to save the round, and it's going to work out. Alu picks it up as the trio of kills, and that looked so good for MIBR. Again, Dustin, we're talking about that approach from MIBR being solid. At the 30-40 second mark, when they decided to actually finalize their push to the upper bomb site, where there was 4 CTs left, the CTs had 0 grenades. They actually had 0 counter grenades. If not for the fact that there was a couple MIBR players that got surprised at the end, that would have been an MIBR round. And
yeah, it looked good through and through. They had the 5-on-4. They traded Sergey 1-for-1 in upper, so I mean, that's ideal. I mean, that's about as good as it gets. And then, yeah, it's just kind of a couple of crazy peaks from Alu in particular. Yeah, the flank from X7 through lobby that came faster maybe than they expected. Really just came back to haunt them.
It's like if you're talking to MIBR, you can just say like, hey guys, like you owned that. Like if you run that round again, it's probably going to work out for you guys. I feel like they created so many good spots for themselves.
They just didn't have like the smoke for Mini and a couple of other little things. A couple of small details weren't there, but still certainly they had a great chance to win. That just didn't quite happen for them.
They will slow things down a lot now, just waiting to dish out those smokes outside, and they've had no presence there, so the CTs could really be playing any sort of a setup.
Right.
We saw that Sunny ran very quickly across to the secret stairs position, and you got to have the mollies for that. So, I mean, that position is to kind of counter if the T's throw the deep stairs molly. You'll be safe in Sunny's position and perhaps not checked for, and you can get a massive, massive multi-kill from that position. So Sunny is very dangerous if MIBR do continue to press outside, but it looks like they are working wrap now. What a pick from Taco. He knows those positions so well as he anchors that on the CT side, and that really pays off, that extra knowledge.
Absolutely. It's fighting against the set that they have not won any rounds in a row this half thus far. Now they have to do way more than that just to try to survive the map, but it's starting to pile on as Fur finds Sunny between the eyes there to get this into a 5 versus 3. Taco may be low on health, but Made in Brazil still packing a wallop right now with all their players still standing and so much map underneath their control, and it might even get worse with this. No, Alu able to at least get 1 back, but still so many more tasks they must complete to get back into the round. Ariel able to upgrade his weapon here, but upper bomb site has been taken. Bomb is going to get planted. He's trying to spam through, but it's not going to land the mark. Now they have to retake 2v3.
Sergey looking to come up the vent and trying to find if there is a possible timing that he can work with his teammate, but it doesn't really look like there is anything that they want to entertain here. They both will back away and save the guns instead. And it's such a desperate situation. Again, Dust, it's such a harsh reality, as you were describing. The fact that they have not won any rounds in a row except for the first couple rounds that they won were in a row, and then that was it. Since then, pretty much, it's been a struggle.
The 2 rounds they won to get them to 5-2 are the only 2 rounds they've won in a row this entire game. So yeah, the 5 rounds on an island is not a good look if you're ENCE on your map pick. And stress that, a map that MIBR Brazil has not played in ages. It's looking really grim. And now they have to win 7 in a row just to force an overtime.
Oh, man.
And they have to do it with slim pickings. They have to do more with less than. This is not good.
Yeah, you got to feel for them. We'll see if they can muster anything, any second wins.
On the flip side, look at the frag distribution for Made in Brazil, man. They are all just clicking.
Yeah, they're looking great.
Everything's going according to plan.
I'll go with in a forward position behind the smoke in the trophy room, looking for any aggression there from the CTs. Nothing to be found just yet, as Ali also keeps tabs on the outside. A slower round again from MIBR, who are looking to, I'm sure, get those smokes down outside eventually. But you want to feel it out sometimes. See what the CTs are up to, if they're up to any aggressions first. Get some information. Now the smokes come down. Sonny wanting to delay things with the incendiary, and that will allow him to now rotate and have time if they do go quickly. But they're not going too fast. Ali will spot one more outside.
Get a kill from X7, though, to at least alleviate the pressure that Taka was applying over towards Ramp. That helps free up a little bit of bandwidth here for ENCE as Alu continues to try to thwart any type of outside pressure. In the meantime, Sonny, feeling the presence of a player here in the back halls, will drop a smoke and delay that route as well for Made in Brazil. So Made in Brazil's options are starting to be limited. At the very least, it's slowing them down. They still do have the superior firepower, and even though they're a man down, there's some low health players out there for Made in Brazil that are quite vulnerable. As we do see the pinch perhaps taking place towards upper KNG coming from Hut, the rest looking to maybe come in through Heaven or through Mini. Or maybe they even still go lower, who knows? There's so many options still left for Made in Brazil, but time is running low, they need to pick one now.
Oh god, it's getting so close. I don't know if there will be time here. They're against the clock more so than they're against ENCE at this point. The kills will start to come through there for ENCE as they start to desperately push. Very key position here for Sergey, unable to stop the plant from happening though, and he'll be taken down as the rotation's caught by Fallen. Great spray, and that is going to be the round, the first map going towards MIBR with the surprise pick of Nuke.